What is going on, everyone? My name is Drew Spencer with the React and Attack Football Podcast, where we try and go over NFL content from all 32 teams every single day. And boy, oh boy, there's always something going on in the NFL world. And if you like what you hear, make sure to like and subscribe. And let's go. All right, let's get into my weekly Wednesday preview, where I like to go over every game, or at least the games that I find pretty intriguing, for multiple different reasons. Sometimes it's the narratives, sometimes it's just a pretty damn good game. So we're going to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Seattle Seahawks in Pittsburgh, where they have a 3 point spread advantage there. Um, Steelers coming off a nice win against the Jets, a little scary, a little sloppy for the defense at the beginning of the game, I should say. But then they start getting gelled and meshing, and you look at, Aaron Rodgers throwing for 4 touchdowns now. He doesn't have the same mobility that he did back in the day, not the same athlete, but he's still got a good arm, man. And, you know, got a lot of people, a lot of detractors that have written this guy off the last couple of years. I don't understand why. He can still make the throws. He's still very heady, very cerebral quarterback, and it seems like he's just in a good situation with him and Mike Tomlin. It's just a matter about, can we see this offense continue to rumble? Who's going to step up in the run game? It seemed that no one there. We didn't see much from Caleb Johnson, rookie out of Iowa. We didn't see, and it seemed that, you know Jalen Warren couldn't really get much going along with Kenneth Gainwell. So interesting to see this offense go up against a really good defense against Seattle Seahawks, who narrowly lost a very ugly game to my San Francisco 49ers. But in a game where they had their defense destroying just so many good defensive looks. Mike McDonald getting his linebackers to drop back in coverage. His corners playing press really well. I mean, this defense and that pressure from the D line, it's almost incredible they didn't walk away with a win. Um, but here they are. I'm just really curious to see these two teams. It's a very tough environment for Seattle, to go in there and against Pittsburgh and go across the whole country essentially. Um, but sorry about that. Um, yeah. So my prediction for this game, I think this game is going to be pretty close. I need to see more from Sam Darnold, and this offense felt like they had him, doing a lot of things from under center, when last year in Minnesota under uh, Kevin O'Connell basically had Sam Darnold do a lot of play action boots, a lot of, shotgun. We didn't really see that a lot. It seemed like 70%, like I said, or so was under center, and he just didn't look super comfortable. So we gotta evaluate. I'm not, I don't think anyone should be freaking out too much after week one, but this is a very good test for both these teams. I have the Steelers winning this one, very close game, probably down to a field goal or so. I'm going to say it's pretty low scoring. Just from what we saw these offenses last week, I don't expect um, this Steelers offense to do the same exact things against Seahawks elite defense. But I'll say 20-17. Um, we'll go Steelers there. So yeah, the 3 point spread. Right. Um, Now we'll go into an early window game again with the Niners and the Saints. And normally I don't always need to talk about my team and the Niners, but this this time I just have to. We're week one and we're already doused with injuries. And the biggest injury wasn't just George Kittle, which being a big one, obviously, but Brock Purdy and his toe. Amongst other things, he's questionable. He's been questionable since the day after or so, week one. Uh, we still do not know. But if I'm to assume that Brock Purdy's going to miss a game or worse, and we have to go to Mac Jones, all of a sudden this Saints Niners game that I think a lot of people probably would have wrote off and said, "Oh yeah, looking at the schedule, the Niners should be able to handle business in even if it's in New Orleans." Yeah, but that's before potentially Mac Jones has to come in and no healthy George Kittle and still no Ayuk and Jawan Jennings. Thankfully, only had a little bit of a stinger scare with his shoulder injury, so that's nice to see. But I think the Saints are, people have written them off. They are a 6.5 underdog to San Francisco. That's even with Brock Purdy being questionable. I'm going to push back on that a little bit, man. You know, I'm not going to sit here and defend the Saints and say, hey, they're perfect. But I mean, like, they played a pretty, I'd say, solid Arizona team. I guess it was at home, and they played them down to the wire. I think they played a lot better than than especially I thought that they would do under the season. I felt early on in the first half for them, Kellen Moore seemed like he was messing around with the timeouts, and there's so much more that has to get underway for this Saints team to take very seriously in that sense. But I don't think that they should just be minus 6.5 underdogs to a team that might have to trot out Mac Jones, who was the last appearance he's had in the NFL starting with Jacksonville was terrible. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be fun. I still have my Niners winning this game despite everything. I guess I'm just still optimistic that Brock might be able to come in and play, and if he can, then I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be closer though, man. Niners infamously have never really played super well at the Superdome. At least the past like 10 years, it seems like we always have either a really good game there where we barely sneak out a win or we lose. Um, it's a tough environment to play, man, regardless. I'm going to take my Niners. I'll go. I'll go a little bit more low scoring on this one. I think it's going to be 20-10. Um, 49ers. But yeah, crazy with Brock Purdy potentially being out. Not good. um, but let's move on to probably one of the biggest games of this week. We have the two Super Bowl teams going at it. Defending Super Bowl champion and the Philadelphia Eagles versus Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City, where the Eagles surprisingly have a 0.1 or a 1 point spread advantage, which look, I know that the Chiefs just lost on primetime to a really good Chargers team. And we'll get more about the Chargers here in a little bit, but um, I think a lot of people are greatly exaggerating their defeat. Like, yeah, okay, like it was week one, it was rough for um, Mahomes and the offense, but it sucks too though because Rashid Rice is out. He's been suspended. He's going to be suspended for the next 6 games or so. And then Xavier Worthy, on like damn near the first play of the game, he goes down on the turf, messes up his shoulder, he's out and still lingering with injuries. And all of a sudden, it's like now Juju Smith Schuster and Hollywood Brown, which again, these guys are fine players. Hollywood Brown is better than fine. He just got hurt last year, so and yet we haven't really seen him in this offense. So I expect a lot of targets to him. I think he's going to step it up. But yeah, the offense looked in a funk, but really what looked the most in funk to me for the Chiefs wasn't the offense. It was their pass rush. And again, I'm going to get into the Chargers more, and I know that they have a pretty solid offensive line, damn near great offensive line with how they've been trying to construct it under Jim Harbaugh there. But, uh, you know, Chris Jones was almost a non-factor. George Karlaftis as well, and yeah, I get it. Going up against someone like Joe Alt, going up against guys like that, it's tough. But no pressure there, really. Just very difficult to see. But I'm not backing away from the Chiefs here, man. Like they're still Kansas City, so that's why I find it a little strange that the Eagles, yes, the defending Super Bowl champions, going into Arrowhead, and they're a favorite. Man, I wish, man. I don't think it's super easy to play an Arrowhead, man. Their fans bring it, and When's the last time we've really seen Kansas City lose multiple games early on? Um, they typically turn it around. So this is a very tough game, but you know, it's not like the Eagles came in off week one. Yes, they had a win, um, but it's not like they came in looking super dominant. Um, Jalen Hurts played an awesome game. He was their offense, as well as Saquon, but they didn't target really. Um, AJ Brown or Devonta Smith. They got held to, I think, two catches between the two of them. Like honestly, like it was weird to see, but against the Cowboys, Jalen Hurts was just able to run all over them, gave them the lane. So yeah, um, but again, for a team that struggled against a Cowboys team that I think a lot of us memed into oblivion after everything that's happened over the course of this offseason for them to actually play kind of well, and the Eagles kind of looking like the offense is in a sputter. Again, they have a new offensive coordinator. It's going to be interesting to see if the Eagles, if this is going to be a repeat of, a couple of years ago where the team was so good, but something just wasn't right with the offense. But again, it's way too early to tell. This is it. I love the aspect of this game, though. I am gonna take the Chiefs here. I'm gonna take them in a close game, man. I think it's gonna be 26-24. I think the Chiefs are gonna get something going. Um, I just can't really rule them out, man. Uh, Even against the Eagles, I know. But especially in Kansas City, crowd's gonna be rocking there. Man, oh man, love it, love it. But let's get to the Chargers. I was gonna save them for last because it's like the Monday night football. There's two Monday night football games, but I had to write this one down, man. Chargers Raiders in Vegas. The Chargers are a 3.5 favorite, which after their toppling of Kansas City, where Justin Herbert looked unreal, literally perfect in my opinion. He was throwing the football so well. It almost seemed like everyone was open. It's like he just knew exactly what buttons to push at the right time. His scrambling effort, we all know how he ran down the sideline for 19-yard gain, slid to ice the game. But there was one run that he had that was so impressive, but it was called back for a holding. That doesn't count on the stats, but we saw that so much from Justin Herbert throughout the course of his debut here for this season. And God, it helps so much when we were worried about with Rashawn Slater going down. Oh man, is the offensive line going to be attacked? How is it going to look? Well, it's okay because we have Joe Alt, who we're just going to put him at left tackle and be unfazed and have Justin Herbert have all the time in the world, it seems, to navigate the pocket, to make the throw, to find his playmakers. God, it was so awesome to see this team and the balls on Jim Harbaugh as well. So, uh, really fun. But the main reason why I wanted to circle this game, though, is well, the two coaches involved with it, and Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll, and the two different sides of the spectrum that they're on. And the Raiders, to me, are so intriguing this year, man. Uh, they got Compete Pete coming in, taking over a squandering franchise that, when Pete Carroll took over back in Seattle in 2010, he had to gut the whole roster, gut the whole damn thing to bare bones. And then they drafted so well, right? They built the Legion of Boom. They're a little bit ways from something like that, but I already see the vision. They have all these excellent young playmakers, Brock Bowers and Ashton Jeanty, who they didn't really use a ton in week one. He did burrow in for a touchdown. Um, but it seemed like, oh, they're gonna be running the ball a lot. They're gonna be running the ball a lot. Well, they will. uh, but now Pete Carroll, he comes in with his mantra of compete. He has his own guy in Geno Smith, who has played for him before and is the guy to establish that culture, establish that, offensive playbook and be a guy for the next however long. And Gino, my God, man, he was killing it too. And Gino, I'm not really that surprised. Gino played some behind some very porous offensive lines in Seattle in his tenure there. The Raiders' offensive line's got a bunch of maulers on it, man. Like it does, and he's got time now. And you saw him just, yeah, he had an early pick, but he was throwing bombs to Trey Tucker, Deontay Thornton, their fourth round rookie out of Tennessee, bringing that vertical game. Obviously, Brock Bowers over 100 yards. Jacoby Myers came damn near close to 100 with a touchdown, I believe. Just so many mouths to feed on this offense, and I'm not going to gush too much about them after week one, but I am very intrigued with how the Raiders season's going to go. Now, in this game, though, I am going to take the Chargers. I am going to take my guy in Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers coaching staff and Justin Herbert, especially after this. Now, I always worry with the Chargers every time I get a little pumped about them. It seems every year they just do something to upset me and make me look like a fool. But not this year. Not this year, man. Uh, you know, that win there at the beginning of the week the season for them so super strong. Yeah, they're going into on the road against the Raiders, but I'm taking the Chargers and I'm taking them again. I think it's going to be a little bit closer. Uh, I think it's going to be we'll say 21-17. I think the Raiders offense is going to get some things going, but that defense still needs a way to go. Um, so, but yeah, man. Very excited about this game and especially about the Raiders as a whole. And now, one of the final games I want to talk about uh, that I think is going to be it's fun to me. Uh, Denver versus Indianapolis for so many different reasons. First off, Indy coming off a blowout victory over Miami in Miami. I don't think anyone saw that coming, man. I mean, it's fair to say, like, oh, you maybe could think the Colts would win. I didn't think that Miami was some superpower team or anything coming in this year. I really didn't. Um, but I don't think anyone expected the Colts with Daniel Jones to be leading it. And I think we're all susceptible of like doom scrolling and stuff. And we see it a lot in the NFL from the media where it's like, they, well, then what are they going to do now? They have Daniel Jones. He's trash. He can't do anything. The season's over. Why even watch? And blah, 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 blah. Well, look, man, I know it's week one, and I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Daniel Jones carried that team. No, of course not. But Daniel Jones, able to play game manager, and it comes into an offense that I think is super well structured for what they want to do. Shane Steichen, I think, is an excellent play caller. His usages of the RPO system and just getting his quarterback to, really start seeing things. He can get this guy to move a little bit. Uh, you know, quick layup throws. Run it with JT a lot. It's all in package in that you never really know which way you're going to go. And that's what makes Shane Steichen, I think, such an excellent play caller. Um, and again, this Colts team is, I wouldn't say has like the superstar talent that you think of, like when you think of star talent, but it does in a sense. And there's so much depth, so much talent overall on this team that you can see games like this from the Colts. But they're going up against an insane defense. I already said Seattle's defense was insane. I use that adjective a lot. Well, the Broncos defense is a fucking menace. Um, they put so much pressure all day on Cam Ward, and I know it's a rookie quarterback against a team that's picking number one overall last year, but it doesn't even matter, man. They made life a living hell for Cam Ward. The defense is nothing, and they don't even have Dre Greenlaw back. So like this Broncos team, this defense is going to get even stronger reinforcements. And when that happens, man, on that side of the ball, good fucking luck, man. Like really, I think this is it's scary stuff. Um, but on the flip side, Bo Nix looked kind of bad week one, like kind of like pretty bad actually. Like, um, look, it's year two for him. Very much sophomore slump. I thought Bo was great last year. He really was. Shattered all my expectations for the guy. But I it just seemed that for whatever reason the plays were maybe coming like in his mind, the plays weren't coming to him quickly. He kind of struggled a bit. And yeah, that Tennessee defense is better than we think, that front seven. I think they just kind of all quit by the end of last year and also the defense was out there all the time because of how bad Will Levis was. So I do give a little bit of grace here to Bo Nix and this Broncos offense. But yeah, just not a fun start. Really sloppy win. But, you know, when your defense is as good as they are, um, you can afford to have a little bit of slop, right? Just a tad bit of slop. Uh, but with this going up against the Colts here, that defense is going to capitalize. Lou Anarumo, who it's again it brings me back to the media thing and like the dooming about it all, and we all formulate horrible opinions because it's battered into us every day. If you check, all year we've heard, you know, all last year I should say, it was like Bengals, their defense sucks. Get rid of Lou Anarumo. They eventually do. They fire him. Then the whole topic all offseason for the Bengals is still their defense sucks, right? Okay, so firing the defensive coordinator, sure. Um, but I like Lou Anarumo, man. I think that he's gonna bounce back here well with Indy. I think sure and this is off topic, but I think it was maybe time for Cincy to obviously move on, right? But it's kind of weird that the narrative is that he sucks, but the defense in general sucks. So it's like, well, then who sucks? Is it just everyone sucks? Sure, it could be that, but it's sometimes I don't I think there's more to every side of the story about things. So yeah, and I'll end this with a little preview. Then I might get into a little bit tomorrow, because tomorrow is Thursday Night Football against with the Commanders versus the Packers. God, man, that's going to be such a great game. We're so spoiled already with this all. And oh, I forgot to say, I think the Colts are going to win against Denver, 20-16 in a very sloppy game. Very sloppy game that all of a sudden everyone's going to be like, man, are the Colts for real? Yeah. So, sorry, a little off topic there at the end, but just wanted to bring that around. But yeah, I'm really excited overall for this upcoming week and excited to see what happens. Football's back, baby. Have a good one.